Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings. I pray that all is well and you all are in the best of health and spirits. It is your sister, Denise Renee Muhammad, and Brother Sean Ali of Supreme Health and Wellness. And we're coming to you live today for another edition of our Health and Wellness Power Hour. And our topic today is defining self, write your history
Mm,
in advance. So, assalamu alaikum,
mm.
Brother Sean. How are you?
Well, alaikum assalam, alive and excited, man.
Right?
You know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. It's an exciting time to be alive. Definitely.
Oh, yes,
Um, so
yes,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Let's get
Even in the
into our
midst of the
topic.
pandemic, hey, look,
Right.
even in the midst of
That's
the
what I'm talking
pandemic,
about.
it is exciting to be alive, especially if you black, man. Especially if you black. I'm sorry, but go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
Yes. No, let's go ahead and get into our topic. Defining self, write your history in advance. Why do we need to define
Yes,
ourselves?
yes, and that's going into when we're looking at that topic, that's going into psychology, you know, and it's something that we all strive to do anyway, naturally, right? So, and that doesn't have an age necessarily an age limit because different circumstances and different situations are going to reveal different qualities about yourself that you didn't know were there. You know what I mean? So you don't know
Right.
everything that you're scared of because you haven't been confronted with everything. Just like you don't know everything that you like because you haven't been confronted with everything that you could possibly like. You know what I mean? So, and when we're looking at this awesome topic, you know, we don't come out of, and it's, we can look at it from several different perspectives: personal, individual, on how I come out of the womb; the nation, the black nation, because yes, me and Sister Denise, we strive to heal the individual, but we want to help heal the black nation in general, you know, our people. So when we are
Right.
looking at that same, this applies to us as a people and us individually. So when we come out of the womb, you know, we don't come out, we come out with under what they call the definition of others. So when we are looking at that, let me. So when we are looking how we come out of the womb with the definition of others, right? You get a name, you get your food, your culture, right? Your language, everything comes
Right.
from somebody else. And they call this the definition of others, right? So as we grow and mature and we start and our brains start to develop, now we coming into a category of defining self. So, and it starts with all of these things that other people put in us. You know what?
Right.
I don't like the name my parents gave.
Like you
And
don't
I,
even
I
know if you
personally,
are yourself.
I don't like Sean. That's an Irish name. I'm nowhere near Irish, right? And I don't like telling people that's my name. I really, as a black man, I don't. But and it's no ties to it or my parents on why I haven't changed it. I've changed my name several times as I've been encountered with different circumstances that brought out different attributes and qualities of me. So I went through Hakeem, I went through Kareem, I went through Akbar, I went through Murmi. I've named my names several times throughout my growth and development in Islam, right? So because I'm defining myself, we say that there's 99 attributes of Allah. the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, you look at the black man, woman, and child, you are looking at Allah. So all of those 99, I
That's
have
right.
the potential to manifest. If I don't define myself, I will never be able to manifest them if I wait on something to trigger it, right? So we come into the world under the definition of others. Our food. I don't eat nothing I grew up on. I mean, I eat bread, but I cook the bread. I eat, I eat soup
Yeah.
but I use bean soup. You know, but all of the potatoes, the white
Right.
bread, the pork, the meat, I don't eat none of that. The culture. I was raised as a Christian. I'm a Muslim. I went through several I thought I wanted to try Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and I found Islam, and I was like, that's it. The language, English, man. But when we are looking at this process, this is a natural process. It's been examined and broken down. So when you get into the defining yourself stage, this it doesn't matter when it's triggered, right? This could look like rebellion. The people that define you, they will either make it easy or hard because, like my parents, oh, you don't like your name no more? You don't like the name I gave you? And they thought I was being disrespectful to them for defining myself.
Right.
And we find that resistance sometimes because we aren't taught this. We don't come into the world being taught this information. So, and when we go into that action, like I said, they could think we're being rebellious. So we get resistance. We get labeled, you're a rebel, you're being difficult, you're hard-headed, you're this, you're bad, you disrespectful. But only thing I'm trying to do is define myself. So now this becomes a
Right.
negative. This becomes hardship. This becomes something, you know what? I'll just stick with the name you gave me. I'll just stick with the food you gave me. I'll just stick with the culture. I'll just stick with the language. So we never get that chance to really grow and develop. Uh-oh, if that makes sense.
Yes. Makes sense. And I
So
like what
what we
Sister
had,
Cassandra says here.
uh-huh.
She says,
Okay, go ahead.
yes, Islam helps to define yourself so that you can find yourself. Wow.
Exactly. And you have the right to be whoever you want to be. When you put that together with the Honorable Elijah
Right.
Muhammad teaching us our brains are created to think right. So we don't need the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say we don't need permission to do right. It's right for you to
Exactly.
define yourself. We just don't have the tools. We don't have that access. We don't have that that program that allows us to define ourselves. Well, Sister Denise, hold your book up. Hold your book up.
Yes, sir.
We got some science, man. Look, we got some tools, right? So we have some tools that help you to start to define yourself. So you got a place in the books where you have to put your name at, right? Because it says,
Right.
hey, it's a blank space. My name is. So you get a chance to healthily, to righteously, to positively define yourself. So the
Absolutely.
objective is because when we are moving through life and we can encounter what they call a hardship or a struggle. I don't use those words, but that's what people say. And you might need motivation and inspiration. See, instead of going to somebody else's story, you can go pick up your book and you can open it up to the page that said that you wrote that because it's question and answers. It, it
Right.
it's activities that you fill out about yourself. self-esteem. This one says goals and dreams. This page says self-esteem checkup. Look, a self-esteem checkup. So if you ever feeling low, look, if you ever feeling low, you can go to page, what page is this? This is page 64. You can go to page 64 and you can get yourself a self-esteem checkup. And at the end of it, you are going to use your own force and power, your own energy to uplift and motivate yourself. Woo! Man. See what I'm saying? That's because you move yourself. If you stop moving right now, your body doesn't move. So when
Right.
we are looking at disability, so what you want to be, what you want to, where you want to go, what you want to achieve, it's up to you. You are only limited by what you decide to do. But we can get
Exactly.
stuck right here. We could be 50 years old and still trying to define these things that other people gave us. Whether it's black people as a whole and this whole wickedness that we got from America, or if it's a black person and an individual growing up in a broken family structure in an impoverished environment with parents that don't have a knowledge of self, God, others, the time, and what must be done. So we come out impaired, slaves, damaged, right?
Right.
So we have an extra part to go in this defining of self because we have to help fix ourselves because we are broken. This is a chance for us to heal ourselves with our own force, power, and energy.
Right.
Right? That one slide, sis. Can you hold up that slide real quick?
Yes.
The first slide,
And
because this is how the Europeans teach in psychology, the Maslow's high theory of hierarchy theory, and this goes into what they discovered we need in that path to getting a knowledge of self. Man, I'm telling you, this is deep, and this is from these. I go into it in the books, right? But and this pyramid is an awesome example for mental, emotional health and wellness, right? Because at the top of it is self-discovery. Man, so they are looking at an easy path to self-discovery, and that's what the science of these books are and these writing assignments, right? As soon as our awesome sister get there, we go. Listen, look at this. So at the bottom of the pyramid, it says physiological needs: food, water, warmth, rest, food, shelter, clothing. Then you got safety needs: security and safety. Then you got the third level, belongingness and love needs: intimate relationships, friends. Woo! Then you got self-esteem needs: prestige and feeling of accomplishment. Then you have that final one is self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. But to get to that self-actualization, see, we black people, we are still at the bottom: food, clothing, and shelter. Our physiological needs, they show that we aren't meeting even those. So now it's impossible for us to have that safety
right.
needs, right? To feel secure. So now it's impossible us to feel that we belong, that belongingness, right? And that love needs. We are the most unloved people on the planet Earth. We don't have intimate relations with good quality people. That friendships in all walks of life with the Nation of Islam came
Right.
to reverse. And then you have the self-esteem needs, that prestige and feeling of accomplishment. That's lacking. And then without that, in the preceding levels, you can't have self actualization. You can't have achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. Sis, you could take it down. When you come into the Nation of
Okay.
Islam, The first thing you to become a registered member, the first thing that you must recite. Who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the
Asiatic
maker,
black man.
the owner, cream of the planet Earth, God
Cream
of
of
the
the
universe.
planet Earth,
See, you
God of
get
the universe.
that's so, and he tells you to do for self. He tells you to take this Islam that you've learned, this mathematical theology, and secure for yourself, right? Set yourself in heaven overnight. See, we
That's
get
right.
a way to fulfill this hierarchy and climb up that ladder into self-actualization. Who am I? God. Who am I? God. See, if you can't say that,
Right.
you are not at self-actualization. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that Master Farad Muhammad came to raise a nation of gods. The Bible says you are all gods, children of the Most High. So for black people, self-actualization is to realize that you are God so you can use your creative force and power to build.
Right.
Mm. This is the books
And the
that me and
beauty of
Sister
it is
Denise
you
had.
can
Go ahead.
you can redefine it yourself over and over again, you know.
Every day if you want.
Right.
You're supposed to change. You're supposed to change.
Exactly.
We are supposed to change. Change is never bad. The only thing is when it's bad is if it's from dissatisfaction. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that dissatisfaction brings about a change, but that's not the only way a change is brought about. See, when you're dissatisfied, yes, you can bring upon a positive change, but it can also be a worse change. But then you only bring about the percentage of dissatisfaction that you are. You can be satisfied and want to improve. Improvement is change, right? You can want to add an addition to your
Absolutely.
house, even though you could be satisfied and want to change the way your hair looks. That's
Right.
I'm sorry, sis. I
And
didn't
I
mean to
like
cut you off.
this.
I'm sorry.
No, I like this comment from Sister Cassandra. She says, we have to turn ourselves completely to Allah so that He can wash our minds and write on our minds. How you live is what your book will say. Hold on.
That's true. But in
How
the
you
Nation of
live is what your
Islam,
book will say about you.
yes, but we don't record history after it happens. We write history in advance. That's what the top. So the nation of we have a question in the supreme wisdom. It says the original people, we write our history in advance up to 25,000 years, 1 year for every mile. That's 24,896,000 miles. We just rounded off to 25,000. So when we're looking at that, nothing happens that isn't written. It's not
Right.
recorded after we write. So individually, that's what these represent. They represent us being able to practice our ability to write my history in advance for myself because we do it anyway. They say, what's your 5 year plan? What's your 10-year plan? What's your 20-year plan? So we already do it. We just don't do it for our life on purpose, on me living. So this is what we need to achieve self-actualization. So when we are looking at that, it's represented in some cases with a diary, but that's just a book full of blank pages. This is book full of exercises to get black people to realize how powerful we are because you
Right.
have black people that have come to Allah in all forms of Islam and still suffering from being an 85 percenter. They still eating pork animal meat. in foods.
Mhm.
They still getting tricked by the 10%. They still don't know who the true and living God is. They still don't have a full knowledge of themselves, easily led in the wrong direction, hard to lead in the right. So, yes, we teach that, but we got to understand that we are responsible for what we put in us, what we do, right? And if we,
Right.
this is a natural process. Everybody has, almost everybody has a nickname. Some, almost everybody has a food they changed. Almost everybody has changed their culture in some type of way from what their parents gave them. Almost everybody has changed up the language that their parents gave. And they talk about that being a disconnect between the parents and the child. But that's just a natural process of defining myself. Here's tools. So at the end of this process, not only have you defined yourself, but you have awakened your greatness, your power, the good quality, because this is nothing about the good qualities, goal setting. So you can learn the process of setting goals, because if you haven't been taught it, then you might not know how to do it.
Right.
Then you, you know what I mean? So if when you going along and you need motivation, you need inspiration, you can pick up the book that you got from Sister Denise. Or you can pick up the book that you got from Brother Sean Ali. And you can read, look, 5 things I like about myself. Woo! Look, you can you can you can go to this page. 5 things I like about myself. Now you're going to produce endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, right? All of those good hormones, because you're going to be dealing with things you like about yourself without eating, without drinking, without any external source, as it was in the beginning, as it
Right.
was before the devil. We had no low self. We didn't have none of that stuff. That all of that is after our fall and our conquering. Sister Denise has some. Oh,
Mhm.
sis, you got oils.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, she has some oils. Because we're looking at all of this is happening in the brain. So when you're looking at and you see and you take apart that brain, all of this, you having a conversation between your frontal lobe and your limbic system. The limbic system is where let me show this one. Now, dopamine comes from this part of the brain, the ventral tegmental area, and we have a nucleus accumbens right here. So these two areas of the brain is where dopamine is released from. So, and what comes from the thinking brain has to be passed through the emotional brain. So, Sister Denise and what she practices and teaches with aromatherapy, it has a direct effect on the brain. That's the olfactory nerves, those white bundles. Those are so when you smell something, it goes straight to the brain for processing. Wow.
Right. Just
Wow.
inhale.
This is hell. So, sis, I'm going through something. Let me give a scenario, right? Because we're trying to define self, right? So that's
Right.
the objective is to successfully define myself, right? So I'm going through some things and I'm a little, I don't know. I'm a little shaky. I'm a little, indecisive,
Mm-hmm.
right? What can I do that brain fog? That's what they call it, that
Right.
brain
Yes.
fog, right?
Brain fog.
Yeah,
Need
yeah,
some
yeah, yeah, yeah.
need that mental clarity. Um, rosemary is
Mm.
great for brain cognitive function. It helps to clear that mental or that brain fog, give you that mental clarity, relieve mental fatigue. You know, when you just
Mm.
overthinking and you just can't make a decision, indecisive, rosemary is
Mhm,
good for
mhm.
that. Just
Wow.
take the top off.
Okay.
And within 22 seconds, it goes to that limbic
Mm.
system of your brain that you were showing.
Wow. Yeah. That limbic system. So your thalamus and family. This is now with that eye. That's the thalamus. Okay. That is the processing center for every action that goes in the brain. So they when we learn how the brain works, I mean, this gives us the ability to control the brain, which gives us the ability to control ourselves. So, right, we're looking at that. So when you have
Right.
that brain fog, that restless mind, that unsettled mind, that non-clarity, and you're looking at, you smell that, and it just goes to that nasal cavity and it passes that blood brain barrier. So the process is right there. Thalamus is right there. One of the first pieces of neurons or tissues that it has a chance to affect is your thalamus. So you're looking at 22 seconds for it to cross, get to this bundle of neurons, and to have that effect on it, those molecules. Because as they become diffused inside of you, not just out of the diffuser, but your body
Right.
takes apart everything that. So when those
Mhm.
molecules are taken apart, that energy that is released, that's the power of the of the
Mhm.
aromatherapy and essential oils.
Right.
So as
And
you're
that's how
sitting there, go ahead. I'm sorry, sis.
yeah, that's how it goes in and actually kind of like your receptors on your cells. It
Mm-hmm,
cleans them,
mm-hmm,
so to speak,
mm-hmm,
to clear that, give you
mm-hmm,
that mental clarity. Hmm.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes. And so, and that's the why is that important? Because in these books, you're going to be thinking about yourself. You're going to have to write it's exercises on self-esteem and goals, all about me. So the you might not. So this is for like I okay, all transparency. I have a terrible childhood. My parents told me from a baby, my father said, "Hey man, you're not my." I look just like, if you could see my biological father, we look like twins. But from my whole life, he's told me I wasn't his. So and he's treated me like that. On the because my mother and father didn't have a relationship. They really hate each other. I only saw them together once in my life, right? I
Wow.
look just like him. In my whole life, she's told me, you act like him, you just like him. And so she really didn't like me. And I grew up under that circumstances. So coming up and having the ability to fill myself with self-esteem, having that ability to fill myself with goals and dreams, having that ability to fix the cracks that the definition of others, because they gave me messed up, it wasn't no love here. So all of the stuff that they passed on, they didn't pass on love, they didn't pass on knowledge of
Right.
self, they didn't pass on anything that was healthy really for me. So I really was in need of defining myself. And once I found a successful way, it's like, hey man, oh,
Right.
oh, but along that way, all about me. If I could get in a category that could trigger a bad episode from this definition of others. Now I can get stuck there. The aromatherapy, those essential oils, they will help bring you out of that emotional hijacking, of that emotional stuck where you get, because like I said, I could, man, and it could trigger 22 seconds. Sis,
That's right.
put your
That's right.
diffuser on. Put your get your
Yes.
bottle. You got it. Sis got the what you got to carry.
The
The
inhalers.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
inhaler.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, you can
yeah.
carry it with you. Don't have a diffuser. Just take that top off and inhale a few times.
Mm, wow.
Each
And
nostril
that's
and
the
just
setting.
take it with you.
That's the setting you want to have while you're doing the exercises in the book, right?
Right.
So if you don't have a diffuser, then you get the inhaler and you have that with you because see, in that you're not eating nothing, you're not drinking nothing. There are no side effects. No, this is therapy to heal, to become healthy and stronger. So we're not introducing nothing with any potential side effects. This is all love and life, man, and power, right? That's
That's right.
right. You
Love,
know,
light, and
you don't need
power.
to
Perfectly said.
love, life, and power, right? You know, and like I said, the concept, Sister Denise. I'm sorry. Did you have something else to say? I'm sorry, sis.
No, I was typing this in here. The link to my
Oh,
book. But no,
okay.
that's perfectly said. Love, light, and power. You know.
Right. Writing yours, getting we got the original people write our history in advance. We are only limited by that 25,000 year cycle. Listen, look, we can rewrite our history up to a 1 mile a year per mile. That's 25. That's the only thing that limits us. We have how to eat to live. We Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us how to live indefinitely. Woo, man. So you
Right.
have, in order to do that, you have to be able to write a history that you walk into. Mm.
Right.
You got another oil? You have another oil for us,
And
sis?
yes, another one that's really good. Black pepper essential oil.
Okay.
It's
Yes, yes,
very
yes. I don't think I have
energizing
that
to
one.
the, no, it's very energizing to the mind, stimulating. It helps you give you also that mental clarity. And another thing it's good for is if you are struggling with trying to quit smoking, it helps you to
Hmm.
kick that nicotine habit. And I have several clients that
Mm.
I've helped with that. Put it in a inhaler, and instead of picking up the cigarette,
Yeah,
pick up the inhaler and inhale. Hold it like you holding a cigarette,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
helps
yeah. Okay,
to
okay.
cut that nicotine craving for those that need help.
Wow.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Wow. And it's no side effects. Please
No,
understand that, family. You
you
know,
don't
we're
have
not
to
trying to just
pay.
get you to buy something. Right.
Right. It's a better, healthier alternative to vaping. You know, those,
Hmm.
what are
Hmm.
those fake cigarettes, electric cigarettes? Or,
Yeah, yeah, the e-cigarettes.
yes,
Yeah, you don't we
healthier.
and that's the goal. We want to learn how to change our lives without hurting us at the same time.
Right.
Right. So that would be like the best objective is um I was trying to find in here, sis, where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that we, unless we have something to attract us, we're not going to want to live that long.
Mm.
And that's a great, because that goes into these books and writing our history. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, when we got tired of living, that's when we broke the dietary laws, right? So if you don't have your history written, you could get tired of living because you don't know, I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. What? 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 Who is the original man? The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe, right? So I
Right.
don't care what the weather is going to be. I have something to do when I wake up. So the only thing I got to
Right.
do is make sure I'm living a lifestyle that's going to allow me to wake up. Because there is no spookism. There, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells us, for those that follow him, in How to Eat to Live, Book 1, page 52, he says, he said, there is no set time for us to die. We kill ourselves daily by means of what we think, what we eat, and what we drink.
Okay.
So if you don't know how to think about yourself properly, you have a that's a way to kill yourself. You will stress yourself out
That's
with
right.
doubt, with indecision, with man
Mhm.
thinking I'm
Fear.
bad, thinking I'm a failure. Oh my God. We trying to help.
Right.
I'm sorry, sis. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
And
sis.
he, yeah, hold it. He said that, if you can eat one meal a day, but if your thoughts are negative, it does no
Mm,
good. So thoughts
mm.
is
I'm a
key, critical for how to eat to live.
yes. He said he was getting a lot of letters from people saying that they weren't getting the same benefits from eating to live. And he said it's because of the mental food, right? If you're not eating the right mental
Right.
food,
Right.
here you
Mental
go.
food.
There are some
Exactly.
people who claim that they do not receive beneficial results as they should. This is due to the wrong mental food that they have been eating, which has an effect on their digestive system. Woo! Man,
Hmm.
see, and that
That
includes
brain
the
gut
mental
connection.
food. This is mental food that somebody else gave you. Your name, the food you eat, your culture, your language. So we are learning how to, if you got a messed up name, a messed up food, messed up culture, messed up language that you got from somebody else, you have to change your diet. You can't keep eating on what they gave you. This is your
That's right.
chance to change that diet of mental food
Hmm.
so that you can won't have an adverse effect on your digestive system. Man, if you don't know who you are, then you don't know how powerful you are. You don't know that you are God. So that means you could get stuck sitting there waiting for somebody to come and save you, and our Savior has already arrived.
Right. That's right.
He's he's a he's already, and he gave us the tools to save ourselves. Man, all praises due to Allah.
Praise
That's
be
it.
to
So
Allah.
we right, yeah, yes. So you got another. You had the rosemary and you had the black pepper.
Rosemary, black pepper. Hmm. Eucalyptus is another one. that
There you go.
it not only
Eucalyptus.
helps you to breathe deeper and better, but it gives you, yeah,
Mm.
that mental clarity as well. And it automatically, when you inhale eucalyptus, it lowers your cortisol levels. So if you're stressed,
Mm.
it's good
Mm.
for
Oh,
lowering
okay.
that
Before we close,
stress
that's what
hormone.
we can. Man, what you okay? Because the stress, right? So we got the eustress and we got the distress. This is the eucalyptus. Okay.
Yes.
So stress falls under one of them two categories. Now, eustress is the HPA axis. That's the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is right here, number 49, and the pituitary gland is right here. So the HPA is the hypothalamus adrenal gland axis. That's where you're getting cortisol and adrenaline from your adrenal glands. So that your hypothalamus activates your pituitary gland, which sends that signal down your spine to your adrenal glands to produce cortisol and adrenaline. If it's under distress, you might not have an off switch.
Right.
I'm telling you,
Mm.
somebody got to come and smack you,
Oh my
shake you,
goodness.
because there's no off switch. This is distress. You are looking for something external. Eustress is you are looking inside. See, this is outside. So you are looking for somebody to come and save a damsel in distress, right? You're looking for somebody to come and save you. Eustress is I prepared for this. I wrote my book. So when I need energy, when I need motivation, inspiration, I don't have to worry about searching for somebody else's story to uplift me and wait. I can open my
Right.
own book. Man, hold up. Why am I tripping? Look, speak life. Speak life. See,
Hmm.
speak life. Because these are triggered by words. See, eustress and distress is triggered by words. When you say I'm angry, sad, depressed, I can't, that triggers the HPA flight or flight stress. When you say I
Right.
can, I will, I am.
Right.
See,
I am
yeah,
that I am.
yeah, yeah, yeah. See, when you use that type of language, look, in this book, you got a bunch of pages that you got to write a bunch of I am statements. So, because I give you a bunch, you got a bunch of places I can statements. See, so when you need motivation, inspiration, you got your book of your life. Sis, show your book. Sis, show your book.
That's right.
Writing my life, sis. Writing my
Writing
life.
my life, creating my
Oh
mental
man,
wellness.
yes. Exercises for you
Yeah,
to fall in love with yourself, for you to
it's a
empower
workbook.
yourself, for you to enrich yourself. I'm sorry, sis. What'd you say?
No, I was saying it's a workbook, you know. It's like you said, instead of having a blank journal and you trying to figure out what to write, just go through here and it gives you prompts, you know.
Yes.
Writing therapy to control my moods is one of the chapters.
Woo!
With
Man, who
exercise.
don't need that?
Exactly.
who don't, who don't- hey, see, in family. This is why, and I'm saying this is it's not saying that we don't because this is not taking nothing away from God. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us to do for self.
So,
Not just food,
right.
clothing, and to do for
For
self.
self
This is
on all
how do
levels.
you heal yourself mentally, emotionally? How do you overcome the
Right.
definition of others? That it's not you gotta redefine right. That's the only way you can overcome it is if you define yourself. Man, all
Right.
praises. Man, I'm telling you, sis.
Right.
We
And I
definitely
like
gonna
this
have to
right
make
here. In
uh-huh.
in the book it says asks you a question. What did it look like for you today? If today's mood
Mm,
wasn't such a positive one, you have a decision to make. What are you going to do about it? For situations you
mm,
can change, make an action plan.
mm,
Have an honest
mm,
conversation with a friend who said something hurtful, for example, or set an appointment to get a troublesome health problem checkup.
mm. See? That's a and it's given see this is the information from a psychologist. This is psychology, right? So instead of you going and you they might not even have studied this or that's not what they promote. So this is the best of psychology in a
Right.
simple easily functional form, right? Non-complicated, where you just get a chance to empower yourself. Man,
Absolutely.
shoot. As black
Right.
people, we definitely need that. Not in those scientific, like some superpowers. It's so you can do and be what you want to do and be. Live your
I
life
say so you can
to
live
enjoy
your
your
best
life.
life. Right.
That's it.
That's it.
That was the three oil sis, the
Yes. Those are the ones
rosemary, black
talk about
pepper,
this.
eucalyptus.
And eucalyptus.
Yes.
Hmm.
So y'all
Those.
contact the sister. She has the. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
No, I was just saying those are the three that I wanted to talk about today.
Yes. Get y'all inhalers. Get your oils. Get your blends. Get your science on the use. Many usages. Because it's not. We just going from this perspective because
Mhm.
we just in this category. But you can
Right.
clean your
But
house. You can clean your life physically. Physically. Not just a room. You can
physically
physically
and
clean
mentally,
yourself.
spiritually,
Right, right,
spiritually,
right, right,
mentally,
right,
emotionally,
right.
physically. That's why I love the essential oils. Clean your house
Yes,
with it.
yes, yes, yes. It's the
Absolutely.
science of life in a
Yes.
bottle. Woo! With
Truly.
no side effects. We gotta, we
Mm.
gotta love.
The
We have
side
any more
effect is
comments sis,
life.
before we close out? Yeah, yeah. The
Let's
side effects of
see.
life. I
Danielle,
appreciate Sister Can.
good
What was that, Sister
afternoon. I'm
Candace?
driving, but with Cassandra, she did leave
Mm,
a comment. She
I'm
says the
sorry.
Holy Quran talks about our books being written according to how we live our life. Did
True
you hear
that.
that?
Yes. And you can write your book now
Okay.
on how you're gonna live your life and then go live it.
Right.
This is in accords with the code.
Write your
This is what
history
I'm.
for me.
This is the manifestation of that. You don't have to wait to do it. You can write it down, and so tomorrow come, you might need a reminder on what you was going to do today. So you can pick your book up. You can say, "Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Let me go do it," and keep yourself on
Hmm.
track.
Yeah,
All praises due to
absolutely.
Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Well, that this has been good. I like this topic.
Yes, I do too.
And with that being
It's
said,
because it's really
we're
no
going to
right or
put a
wrong.
pin in it right here.
Yes,
Right. It's how you live your life, you know.
right,
It's
right.
a
That's and
perspective.
if you do some
So thank you
if you
all.
do some unrighteousness, that's between you and God. that ain't,
Hmm.
that's not us. I'm sorry, sis. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly. That no, I think it's a lag or something. But anyway, yeah, that's true. There's no right or wrong answer. So with that
Right.
being said, family, thank you all for tuning in. Sister Lena, Sister Danielle, Sister Cassandra, we appreciate you all for tuning in and interacting with us today. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yes, sir.